Hello everyone, good morning. Am I audible to all of you? Yeah, hi Bhuvi, Yash, Baldev. I think like people will be joining in, but yeah. Am I audible to all of you? Okay, great. How many of you have completed that assessment like which I gave to you? Good morning, Harmit and Bhuvi and Akshay, Satej, too. Yeah, Raghu. Have most of you completed the assessment altogether? So let me just share the drive link with you where you need to upload your UI files.
Hello, Gurdeep.
Yes.
Did you share the assessment file in the mail link?
Yeah, Saitej.
But
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not.
I
I'm
shared
not.
the same in the mail chain altogether. It might be that I might have added you at the last. Okay, but okay. So I will. What I will do is in the folder itself. So this is the drive link
Okay.
uh, where you need to upload your assessments, and I will just check them out. I am actually uploading the test here only altogether in this folder.
Okay. Thank you, Gurdeep.
Oh, welcome. And actually, I got a request from multiple students altogether to discuss about it and let them know a solution. So please check like is the link working for all of you? And what you need to do is you need to actually save it in a format that is your name and so batch number. Like okay, it is like you can do with your name and then you can say solution.py. If there are multiple people with the same name, I don't think like there is any, so you can use this method only, like it will be yash underscore sol.py, so that will work fine if there are not multiple people altogether. So but there is one thing like I which I will be discussing upon year ago. So this is a request I got from people. So what I will be doing is actually I will be discussing about the questions, that what logic they need to use uh, for some of them who were not able to do some of the questions. So talking from the first, so you are given a string, write a program to swap case, that is convert a lowercase letter to uppercase and vice versa. So this is the first question, that from this you need to convert to this. So can anyone like let me know what
A
approach they
dot
have used?
upper, A dot upper, A dot lower, like Python is dot upper, Python is lower.
Correct, Hermi. So that can be the one solution, correct, and the other is a shortcut, that is swap case, is a like by inbuilt function also, so you can use that one too. So yes, in this what you need to do is you need to actually iterate over this particular value, or you can take this value from the user. You need to iterate over this, and you need to like during the iteration altogether, you need to check whether it is lower or upper. First, there will be a check altogether that whether it is a lower or upper. If it is a lower, that if this is equal to lower is equal to true, then you will like convert it to upper, and actually you will be creating an empty string. For example, I think you all know how to create an empty list. So for an empty list, it is something like this: a is equal to an empty list like this. But to create an empty string, it is this. So this is empty string, which will work out. Correct. So this is how it works. And so this is the first one. So in that, so while iterating, you will say a plus equal to I. While you will iterate, each and every individual word will get appended in this string, and you will get this as a result. So this was not that too difficult altogether, but yeah, this is the approach you need to use. The second one is write a program to print the number of times a substring occur in the given string, and string traversal will take place from left to right, not from right to left. Example, you need to count era in this particular one. So how many times era is coming in this? So in this, the solution will be 2. It is coming 2 times. This is the first time, ARA, this is the one, and the second one is this one. So this A will be counted twice. And you need to actually see the main issue what you will get is, so there is a dot find option, but in that you will get an output as a single one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gurdeep, Raghu here. So how
Yeah,
to do
Raghu.
it one? Because I tried different method, but I'm getting, as you said, I'm getting only one. So
You will
it is
get a single
consider
one, yeah.
it consider only that first ARA, not the last 3 character. So how to do this one?
See, in this case, Raghu, what you need to do is actually, in this case, you need to iterate. See, you need to consider its length, correct? So the method it will be doing is you need to take its length, first of all, that is 3. And you need to start iterating from here. That for I in this, you will start from here and you will consider only the next 3 letters. That is from index 0 to 2. Then you will come up here, you will consider only the next 3 letters. So in that case, you will be able to count them up.
Okay.
These are actually not directly driven solutions, so you need to like create some logic altogether. That is the main purpose of these.
So whether it will come under loop concept or how it is this one? How to do this one iteration wise?
So in iteration wise, so it can be simply like it can be like you need to use a for loop, and for I in this particular one, you will get the index of this. So this will be at the index 0. So you will add 2 to it, correct? So you will add 2 to it, so it will be 0 to 2. You can do it like this. And if you are allocating it to a variable named as b, so you will say b0 to 2, and then you will see whether it is your era is equivalent to this.
Why we consider it as a 0 to 2?
See, because main thing is what issue you're facing is, see, first you will consider, so if you don't the reason being 0 to 2, because this is the length of this one. We'll be checking we will be checking the combination of 3 words, yeah, 3 character at a time, correct? Because if you're checking as a whole, so it will give you a single solution, but here it is answer should be 2. So it will check these first, then your index will change from 1 to 3, correct?
Okay, got it.
So yeah, then it will give a 1, and then it will change to 2 to 4. So that time it will not give a result, but from 3 to 5 you will get the same result.
Okay. So based on the how many characters we need to check, based on that we need to create the index.
Yeah, you need to create a logic accordingly, that based on the number of characters you will be slicing only that much amount of character at a time and iterating over those.
Okay, fine. Got it. Thanks. Yeah.
Welcome. So this is another question. Given a string, find out if the string contain alphanumeric character, alphabetical character, digital, lowercase, uppercase. So these are, I think, more of the string functions which we covered, and it is quite simple. Like for alphanumeric, there is an option of is alphanumeric, is alpha, is digit, lower and upper. So they are a number of times. So basically, you need to keep a record of it. So while iterating over this particular string, you will be taking one character at a time and checking all this condition, and if that is particularly satisfied, then you need to create a counter for them too. So this is how it will be done. So talking about this question, make a Python program to print the second highest number in the following list and also print their index number. So
Use enumerate function. Enumerate.
yeah, in this case you need to use enumerate, but I want to only listen its answer from Bhuvi. Bhuvi, were you able to solve it?
No, Gurdeep, I couldn't get to it. I had a
Uh,
family thing. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Actually, the reason for asking to you because I gave you a hint. Like last time, I think you were able to implement enumerate, but I think that is what I remember, that you were able to implement enumerate, and then I said you about the set that created into a set, and then you need to do it.
Right.
But okay, yeah, good. Actually, in this case, see, there are multiple steps. You need to first convert into a set data structure. So what it will do is actually it will give you the unique values for the same. From set, you need to convert into a list again, because set are unordered, so they don't have indexing altogether. So you need to convert into list, and then you need to sort it from lowest to from smallest to largest, you can say. So you will get these the numbers as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, and then you will be using the index of -2. See, actually the main logic for like behind these problems is that you need to automate the things. Your answer should be like in all these things, your answer should not be just simply focused on these questions altogether. It should be like any list given to you, you are able to tell the second highest number and their indexes. That is the main idea. Try making a
Gurdeep,
general solution.
sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt
Raghu.
you. Yeah, Gurdeep, the set itself, I did this one, but the set no need to sort out, right? But set that function itself make you to ascending order, right? No need to sort out.
Yeah, that
Okay.
yeah, when you do a set, it might like yeah, like as a precautionary, like when you convert into a list back now, there might be chances that the sorting might be disturbed. That is the reason that as a what you can do is as a like precautionary, as a foolproof step, you can just sort it up. But yeah, normally you don't have to.
No need,
It
right?
doesn't.
Set function
Yeah.
itself will make it sort, right? Then
Correct. So in
Okay.
that case, you will use the index -2 because you will
Exactly.
get the unique one. But what you need to do is actually this list will be with a name B. If I say this list will be with a name A, you don't have to mix them up. This
Yeah,
list is
yeah.
this list is created just to get the second highest number. After you get the second highest number, you need to implement enumerate on A. You will use the enumerate function, and that too on your list, this one list, and using that you will get the index number. Then actually you need to iterate over this list one by one, and so enumerate actually give you the index and the value. So you will match the value that if j is
Yeah,
equal to
I did this
-2.
method, Gurdeep. So I got this answer.
Like
So
great then.
okay, so I did this one. I put it as a original set. Then
Mhm.
I made it as a unique set. This one. Then I, as you said, -2 I put. So I got the second largest number.
Yeah. So by this actually you will be checked. So this actually this -2 you need to save into a variable C. That is the second highest number, and you will just match this j with a C. If it is a match, you will like print the value of I. That is its index number. That is how it will be done. Do any one of you have any questions, Saitej? Any question regarding this? Like you like this? I have shared the file, but I'm giving an overview, like the logic I'm giving you. That it will be easy for you to code out. But I think the main the main thing in programming is all about logic creation. Correct. Like, and that is the main reason that every person can create its own logic. So a single problem can have multiple solution. So the solution I'm telling you is one of the solution. There can be other 10 ways which you can also solve it. So that is the main thing of programming. And yeah, so and you need to practice a lot. I have already like shared some links, like HackerRank is one of the website and Code Chef is another one. So try coding over them. Do practice a lot. The more you practice, the more you become an expert in it. That is the main thing in coding. So now moving moving down. So if I talk about these, this is the second one. Make a Python program to create a list comprising of first 100 prime numbers. So it will be a simple one. In this, what you need to do is, so in this, actually you need to identify, it will be a logic altogether, that is first 100 prime numbers. In this, you need to keep a counter, check that is when it is still 100. This is the first thing. And for prime number, you need to check the logic that whether it should be divisible by 1 or by itself only. So you will be actually iterating 2 loops in this. Correct. So if it is a number from, for example, you need to check the first 100 prime numbers, or I can say up to number 100. So for example, you will be iterating till, like, for example, I just convert into another problem statement and print all the prime number till 100. Correct. So in that case, you need to do for I in range 1 to, like, for I in range 2 to 100, don't include 1 altogether. And that will be the first part. And then again, you need to start dividing the numbers. Like if your value of I is 5, so you need to divide all the numbers from 2 to 5. So you need to divide it by 2 to 5. That is actually an efficiency you can include in. So this was one of the question, but it is quite a straightforward on the prime number one. This is another question. So Rishabh, can you let me know how you solve this one? Rishabh, create a sample dictionary of person and their ages. When you run your program, it should ask the user to provide the person name and return its age. Yeah.
Previously, I solved only 5 questions. Then after I will not solve.
Okay, but yeah, I have shared the link. I think I'm sharing it again because the person who might have joined late, I'll share it over the mail chain too, so that the person who have joined late can. You need to.
Okay.
That-
Previous class share with us.
Actually, I forgot to share. Really sorry for that. Like
Yeah.
that is one I remembered. Like today when I started the class, I'm gonna share the mail. Yeah, today I'll be sharing it just after the class altogether. Actually, I will be using random forest.
Gurdeep, can I share it to you by next week, because I just now received the file for this assessment.
Okay, so so those who have done it can share it by tomorrow, or like you can take your next week too. But try doing it. See, actually, the main reason is when you see the main reason of sharing this at present is I shared it earlier only. But yeah, when you start doing the machine learning part, actually you start forgetting the basics of Python. That is set dictionary and all. I actually want to like keep you aligned with both the things, that okay, because in machine learning it is more about your classification report, confusion matrix, and which algorithm you are using. Sklearn is more revolve around sklearn and train test split and all those things. Correct, but we tend to forget these altogether. So that is the main reason I'm focusing on these. That please remember this, because these are the main things, your simple data structures that will actually constitute your complete program altogether. And practice a lot. So no issue. So those who like Saitesh also like have like received the file now. So those who think they received the file now, haven't got the file previously, they can share it by next week. No issue. So okay, who can Akshay? Can you let me know how you will do this one? Sorry, Akshay. Didn't hear you. Sorry.
Hello, yes, I have actually not done the exercise. I'll try to do it by tomorrow and submit.
Okay. Okay, no issue. Do anyone of you have done this one? Like willingly, if anyone want to like come up and just so.
May I try? I know how to do it, but I've not done it yet.
Okay, no issue. You can just try for
So
that.
I create 2 variables first. First one would be for the names, and then next one would be for ages. And third would be for to create the dictionary. So the first one will be input and there where I ask them to write their name, and second one would be for where I'll get the inputs in the form of text, and then I convert that into integer, and as and when I get that, it will keep adding it. So if say C is the empty dictionary, so then C will be C dot append A comma B. So that way it will keep appending it.
You can say 35. Correct. So I would say keep this as a format. So because main thing is, so while like what it is asking for is create a sample dictionary. So this is my sample dictionary, correct? And there, so this will be removed. So this is my sample dictionary, and there it is.
I think I have a logic for this question.
Okay, you can also try.
First, we have a dictionary input like a sample. So first we check if dictionary is not zero or not. If dictionary is a zero, then we ask for a input
Mm-hmm.
like the key and a value. And if have a value, then we have to input what name you search, what age you want. So we want this input, and we can search it in dictionary, and it is possible in this. So we can print the age of that person, and if not, so we can concatenate the dictionary the value of the person.
Yeah, that can be also another logic here, Rishabh. So in this case, this is the dictionary. So actually, you will take an input from the user, and you will get the name. For example, if a person provide you the name Rahul only, so you will say A, and you will say B. So this actually is a dictionary name. This is the key name. That is the name, and you will get the age as 35. In this, there is an inbuilt functionality of get. If you remember in dictionary, that if this particular key is not present, it will give you the alternative one, and then you can use that as a condition. That if this particular is not present, then you will take the name of the from the user. For example, it will be a variable C. That okay, it will be a variable C. That is, you will take the ask for the age. For example, by mistake, if the user entered instead of Rahul, uh, he entered Anuj. So that is actually not that was not present in the dictionary, because in our dictionary we have Rahul and age was 35, but he asked for Anuj, so that is not present. And when you will do A and when you will do Anuj, it will give you error. So you need to handle that error, and then you should ask. So actually you will get this name in B. B is equal to, like, you will get an input. So we'll use the input functionality and get a use input from the user. So in B you will say Anuj, and then it will be A, B, and the age. You need to ask the age of that person from the user. So this will be the logic which you need to use. There can be multiple way, like the one like told by Boovi. You can also use that method. Like you can create different list, but like that might complicate the situation. But if you feel convenient, no issue for the initial, like you can say share that result too. And yeah, Rishabh, that will also work for you.
How to append Gurdeep? So I sent this one. I tried this one. I able to fetch the data from the dictionary. So if there is no value, then how to append it with our existing dictionary?
So you need to use the update functionality.
Okay. So logic. So I sent right. If I tried some other number. Okay. So you can see my chat, right?
Yeah, I can see your chat.
Okay, so what I have done, what are the existing data able to fetch the data? If I try some other name, it will show error, right? Then how to append that value here then?
When it will give you error, actually you need to see that is the main case, Raghu. For example, when you will take a, so in this what you're doing is actually the issue, like the problem which you're having is that you're directly printing the age, correct? You're directly asking the name of the person and directly
Correct.
trying
From
to
the
print the age of the person.
dictionary.
Yeah.
So
That is actually an issue. What you need to do is you need to check it with if condition, that if this particular name is present in dictionary or not. You need to use a if condition. If, for example, B in A, for example, B is Anuj here, it will say B in A, that if B is present in this. So if B in A means, actually when you put this command, it will check all. So yeah, or you can say if B in A dot keys. So you can initially check whether this particular name is present in the keys of the dictionary A or not. If this is present, then you can directly print your age,
Yeah.
or you can say else, and else you can provide the condition that okay, A and B, and you can actually ask for the age of the person. Like that will be an initial step in that case. That is C is equal to enter the age of the person, and then A B is equal to C. That is what you can do. So you need to use a if else. That
Okay.
is first you need to like a dot keys is the function for getting all the keys of the dictionary. So a dot keys actually will return all the keys of the dictionary in a list format. So by that you can check that particular like the name is present in the keys or not. If that is present, your simple print will work. If that is not present, then actually you need to ask for the age of the person, and then you need to like update the dictionary. So you can update it by two methods. Either like for example, you can do it by simply like this A, B, and if there is a by default age, like 30 by default age into add, so you can do it at 30 like this. So this is also this actually this will also update the dictionary. So it will be A, and if you do this, like it is having Anuj in the dictionary. So I will say A and I say India. If I give this, and if I say A India and 30. So what this command will do, actually it will create a new key. It will create a new key in this particular one dictionary with the name, with the key name India and the value 30. So there are multiple methods. I would say just revise the dictionary by default functions. You will actually get, so there is another function known as get, there is another function known as set default. So you can actually use them too. So they're quite useful. Just like actually just to provide to like provide a solution to this, you need to just go through or revise your dictionary methods. What all methods do we have? When you will just revise them up, you will get the logic in your mind. Now moving to the next one is create a program using generator to print the okay. So in this case, create a program using to print the number which can be divisible by. So generator is simply a range function.
Gurdeep, right now I am solved it. I put my answer in the chat box.
Okay, let me check. For yeah, that this will work out. So write a program using generator. So generator is basically a range function. They are also known as generator to print the number which can be divisible by 5, 6, and 7 from 0 to 100 and give them in a comma separate. Yeah, that will work out. Correct. So this is the one, or you can do it actually from 0 to 100. You will not get any number. So you can do it 0 to 1000, but this will work. Now the second question is write a Python function. So you need to create a function that performs the operation 20 by 0 and use try and accept to catch the exception and print it. So actually it will be a function of calculator altogether. You will perform a division by 0. So actually whenever you divide by 0, you will get an error. That division by 0 error you will get. So actually you want that particular division by 0 error should not stop your program execution and should be printed as an exception. So in this case, you will be using your try and accept functionality. So in accept, you will be using exception as Z. So accept. So if you remember, it was accept, exception as Z, and you will print E. So you will print E then.
Gurdeep, I have a question. Like in try and exception, like this kind of program, first we need to take a logic for this operation like 20 by 0, and what we put in exception. Like I don't understand what exactly we
See,
want.
actually, in this case, it will be. Uh, if I talk about, so in this case, I think you worked on a calculator. That was a using function. You worked on a calculator. Just
Okay.
give me a second.
Sure. Hello.
Yeah, sorry. So in this case, like Rishabh, I think, answering your question. So in this case, you will create a function that is def, and so you will create, so it will be a function and you will provide a name to it. And in that you can say if, so it will take actually three inputs. That is your first number, second number, and then you'll get the operation, which operation you want to perform. And then you will just check which operation it is. So if it is a division, then you will perform the division. So in this case, you need to put the try. So you need to put the complete function into try except. So it will be complete into try, and then you need to print except. So this is actually, I gave you as a question that how you will perform exception handling over a function. In that case, you will be putting the complete function into the try, and so that if any of these operation, any of the function that is your division, subtraction and all give you error, then actually your accept will give as an output.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the one. So if I talk about this was the next one, write a Python function that checks whether a pass string is a palindrome or not. If it is a palindrome, it should print the uppercase form of the pass string. The input to the function should support both the data type, that is string and numbers, and the output should be also print the type of the data. Okay. So this is a simple one. A palindrome actually is a word. If you read it from the start or from the ad, and it should meant the same. Like for example, mom is a palindrome. So you read from the start or you read from the end, it is actually the same word. So and this is you need to provide a palindrome. Actually it is with numbers like 1 2 3 2 1 is a palindrome. So that is actually the logic which you need to check for this condition. You can use the reverse functionality or something like of that sort, and then you have to do a check, and then you will actually check it that what type of data type it is. If it is a string, then you have to do its uppercase, and if it is a number, its uppercase will not be done. And what you need to do is the input to the function should be both number and string, so it should support both, and the output should print the type of the data, that whether it is a string or whether it is a number. So that you can use a type functionality. So I think, like, if you remember, this was the type functionality which we have, that is type, and you do type of a. So it will give you the type, whether what particular class it belongs to, whether it is a string, a number, or what. So this is our next one. Give a Python program to solve the following problem. That given an integer x, make a function that performs the following operation. That is, f is odd, you need to print odd. If x is even and inclusive of the range 0 to 10, print this one. So which particular method you will use in this case? Anyone?
If else, first we take a if and then else if, and then after else.
Correct. So you will use if and then use elif. So you will use if and then you will use elif. Okay, and then at last it will be else. So yeah, that will be the solution. So all these are
Hello,
very simple.
Gurdeep.
Yes.
For the second case where x is even and inclusive range of 0 to 10, do we have to use and for it?
Yeah, it will be using an AND operation.
Yeah.
In the if it will be AND, because you need to check the range also, you need to check whether it is even. Here also it will be an and here also. Yeah. So
even we tried with R, Gurdeep. I tried with
but
R.
yeah, but I think there can be another, if you don't use and also, so you actually have to put a double condition check. So it might be that first you check whether the number is odd or even, and then if it is a even, then you check these. So that can be a sequential step, but yeah, you can use it parallelly. And
Gurdeep, is
use
method
an
is
and.
correct because I tried with R. What I put it chat, right? Is it the method is correct?
So if exponent to Yeah, this will also work. So that is, yeah, what you're doing. So first you're checking the even condition. If it is even, then you're checking whether it is belonging to which particular, you can say this bracket or this bracket. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
use these methods, or you can, like, that is the what I was saying, that you can actually use a sequential method, that is first check whether it is odd or even, and then check these. Or it can be like using a parallel, like combining both, that checking this odd and checking this condition also. Okay, so that will work. So any more questions anyone of you do have, please let me know in this. So I thought of discussing it with you, that you can all can get a clarity, like some questions you would not be able to solve it up. So,
Gurdeep, I have a question
okay,
about KNN clustering.
okay. It is K
Uh,
means
I,
cluster.
no, I am using K nearest neighbor.
Okay, you are, so it is not clustering, then it is KNN algorithm. You can say it is supervised, correct?
Okay, yes. So I am using a iris data set. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so in that data set, there are 4 columns. Like where there are 2 types of width and
It is
height.
petal length, it is petal length, petal width,
Yeah,
sepal length,
yeah,
sepal
yeah.
width, and there
So
are three classes.
yeah, so I didn't know what is the target variable on that data set.
The
So
target
what I
variable is the type of flower. Okay, so I think I'll be using that one in one of the use cases. So I think by that you will be able to like identify. Correct. So
okay,
I will use that one. Yeah, no issue.
Okay, good.
okay.
Can you just repeat the palindrome part of it? How do we check that? We take individual and then compare it, is it? As in -1 is equal to 0, वैसे करके.
Yeah, you can do it something like that, or you can actually, for example, uh, see what you can do is, for example, for palindromes, like if the word is mom, then you actually need to reverse it. Correct. So it might be that you keep appending into a string in a reverse format. That is something like is a main logic, because you need to check it with its reverse word. Correct. For example, if I say uh, right away, that's whether passing is a palindrome or not. Like for example, if I have the word moon, so it is not a palindrome. Correct.
Right.
So because this word is not equivalent to noom. So the palindrome, the reverse of it will be noom. So it is not a match. So you need to find out how you will do the reverse of it. Either like there is a reverse functionality with your list also, so you can convert into list, and then in that case, or say that, or you can actually try the string slicing part, colon colon -1 on the string, and then you can check whether it provide you the reverse case or not.
Awesome. ठीक है,
Yeah,
ठीक है. Okay.
that it
Thank
will
you.
work. So I will just we will work on the random forest now. Random forest algorithm, like we did the decision tree. Random forest is an advanced version of decision tree, and then after that, either today we'll start with time series forecasting. So there are some other algorithms, just I think Naive Bayes SVM, which will be also be doing. But yeah, today I will be discussing about time series forecasting or the PCA part. I think we will be doing
Gurdeep,
that. Yeah.
can you again discuss the last part of the decision tree?
Which part?
In last, you actually I have no any file. That's why I'm.
Okay, so what I will do is I will just open that PPT, and like I will just do, we will do the revision part for the same, correct?
Yeah,
Gurdeep,
yeah.
I have a basic question, Gurdeep, in decision tree. Hello.
Yeah, Ratu.
So we are doing the finding out the parent node by using this Gini index, this entropy, chi-square information guide, right? So you said, right, the value if the impurity is less in Gini index, then we'll need to consider as a parent, correct? Parent
Yeah,
node. Okay, so,
yeah.
similarly, entropy also should be a less, or entropy should be a more to consider
It
as a
should be a more. Entropy provides you the information gain.
so if it entropy is more, then if we consider the parent node, then information gain means should be less, right? Because it's a 1 minus entropy, right? So if the value is less in information gain, can we consider as a parent node then?
See, actually, if I tell you about the Gini impurity, So Gini impurity actually lets you know the impurity part, but where if I talk about entropy and that to a decision tree, so your entropy actually tell you the information gain. Just let me.
No, so my understanding, I'll tell you, Gurdeep. So information gain is nothing but a 1 minus entropy, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if the value of the entropy considered as a 5, okay, so 0.5, then the information gain will be a 1 minus 0.5 will be a 0.5, correct? Okay, so for example, if entropy is a 0.8, then 1 minus 0.8 will be a, that is a 0, nothing but a 0.2 is our information gain. So, so you said Gini index, if the value is less, then we need to consider as a parent node. Similarly, if it's entropy, should be a less value or more value to consider as a parent node. If entropy is a more value, then
No,
obviously
entropy. Yeah, you are correct. So entropy should be the minimum.
that's what I. That's
Yeah,
what,
entropy should be the minimum. Yeah.
So then only we'll get the information gain will be
Correct.
more value.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's a
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So I think that clears that out. So what we'll do is just I will make you go through the decision tree PPT and give me a second. Just give me a second. Actually, the system is hanging somewhat, so it is taking some time. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, visible.
Okay. So I think this was the decision tree one. Much of revision what we'll be doing is, so in this we were calculating the impurity part. So decision tree actually in this case we decide which particular. So the one. Okay. So this is the root node. So these are the root nodes. These are the internal nodes, and these are the leaf node that is having a decision altogether. This is your database. Now we are ready to talk about this. This is a database we were taking about as a sample, and these were the three classes we have. This was a target variable, And so we need to identify which one will come as a parent node altogether. So that we identified using the gene impurity. And for calculating the gene impurity, we were calculating that whether chest pain, whether person is having a chest pain, what are these, you can say numbers, that is if person is having chest pain, how much percentage or probability the chances that he will have a heart disease. And if a person does not have chest pain, then what is the probability that he will not have any heart disease. So Harmeet, I think your mic is on unmute. Okay. So yeah, so this is, so we will be calculating this with all the three, that is all the three features altogether. So if there are more number of features, we will be calculating it with all those two. So we will get these as a result. And yeah, so we can see there is no 100% yes, no. So there is no node which is 100% pure. So 100% pure means that, okay, if there are 100 people who are having chest pain, correct, and if all those 100 people are having heart disease, so if there are 100 people who are having chest pain, and if all of them are having heart disease, and if there are 100 people who are not having chest pain, and if all of them are not having heart disease, so I would say chest pain was the purest node. But that is actually not the case. In this case, we are actually getting a mixed response. That is, we are not able to distinguish clearly. So talking about which separation is the bad, we need a way to measure the and compare impurity, correct? So for this, leave the gene impurity is equal to 1 minus the probability of yes square minus the probability of no square. So we get this as the gene impurity for this particular chest pain true, and chest pain false, we get this as impurity 0.364. So similarly, we will calculate the gene impurity for all these. And of course, like your good blood circulation has the lowest impurity, that is 0.36. So this is will be using that as the root node on the top. And each leaf contain a mix of like patient with heart and without heart disease. So we will be actually bifurcating. So we'll be further focusing only on these patients, and then we'll check how chest pain and blocked arteries will separate them up. And then we'll again calculate this matrix, that is the impurity we have. Then we see blocked arteries having a lower impurity,